everybody. All right, so today in class we started linear inequalities, and now we're going to be looking at turning linear inequalities into word problems. Now I know you can't really see this that well, but you do have your note sheets so you can follow along. So it said, Coach Fred grew up on a farm. She wants to enter her newborn baby calf in the 4-H competition at the county fair. That's just a competition where they are trying to get the biggest or the fattest calf, okay? In order for Susie, the calf, to qualify for the competition, she must weigh at least 200 pounds. That word at least today we talked about means greater than or equal to. So let's remember that, at least. So I might even make a greater than or equal to symbol. Calves weigh approximately 75 pounds at birth and gain around 2 pounds per day for the first few weeks. The question asks, how many days will it take before the calf's weight exceeds pounds? Actually, is at least, I think it says in yours, 200 pounds, okay? All right, so first we have to understand the problem. We're trying to write an inequality based on how many days it's taking the calf to get to a point of 200 or bigger. All right, so if we understand what we're asking, then getting to the variables won't be so bad. Remember I said, anytime you're looking for your variables, look to the question first. And this question says, how many days will it take before the calf weighs exceeds pounds? So I'm going to let x equal the amount of days. Okay, the amount of days. How many days? Okay? All right, now, we know that we have a starting place because the calf is born at 75 pounds, approximately 75 pounds. So this to me, and it's gaining around 2 pounds per day. And that per day, every time we talk about per day, I think to myself, is this in the form y equals mx plus b? Well, if I know my starting place in y equals mx plus b, that's my 75, that's my b. Okay? And I know the 2 pounds per day then acts as my slope. So 2 times the number of days, there's my y equals mx plus b, okay? We need this value to be greater than or equal to 200, okay? So it is in the form mx plus b is greater than, this is like my y, okay? All right, and now we solve the inequality, which we've been practicing all week and you've gotten really good at. So I'm going to subtract 75 from both sides, and I'm going to get 2x equals, what is that, 125. Greater than or equal to. 125, I'm going to divide by 2. And I'm going to get x needs to be greater than or equal to 62.5 days. But normally we don't talk in half days, we talk in full days. So we need at least 63 days before the calf is going to reach at least 200 pounds. Okay, so being able to interpret. Again, always check to see if it's y equals mx plus b. Remember that setting your variables is an important component to writing these equations. All right, let's look at the next one. Ooh, where'd the next one go? There she is, another example. First I read it, then I understand it, then I set my variables. The medium-sized box of dog food weighs 1 pound more than the small size. The large size weighs 2 pounds more than the small size. If the total weight of the 3 boxes, so the total weight, I see that word, ooh, it sticks out for me, is at most, that sticks out for me, 30 pounds. What is the most a small box could weigh? Okay, so we've got 3 boxes, we're adding them up, we want them to be at most 30 pounds. At most tells me less than or equal to 30. So we know that we want it to be less than or equal to 30. All right. So we got to set our variables. I go to my question. It says, what is the most a small box could weigh? So we're going to let x equal the amount a small box weighs. All right, so now we go from there. So the medium-sized box is 1 pound more than the small box. Okay, so I've got my small box. I'm going to add to it my medium box, which would be, medium box would be x plus 1. And my large size is 2 more than the small size. Oops, x plus 1, I made a mistake. So my large box is going to be x plus 2. These 3 boxes together, there's box 1, there's box 2, and there's box 3, they total, we want them to be at most pounds. All right, so now what do? We add the equations together, where we add the variables together. Oops, lost it. So we've got x plus x plus x. We combine the like terms and we get 3x. 1 and 2 gives me 3. So 3x plus 3 is less than or equal to 30. We subtract 3 on both sides. So 3x is less than 27. And then we divide by 3 on both sides. So x is less than 9. All right, so that means that an amount of small box waste has to be less than 9, so 8, in order for it to be at most 30 pounds, okay? So we're getting the idea, the variable's giving me the next value. If it's not equal to, I need to go down to the next value. And we'll talk more about that tomorrow when we get to class. All right, we're moving on. Let's look at another one. Each student, okay, so I think I need you to jump. Why did I do that? I'm not really sure. All right, I want you to jump to number 5. I believe it's number 5 in your note packet. So I'm going to give you a second to make sure. Let me make sure. Nope. Okay, it was number 3. Sorry about that. So this should be number 3. Okay, each student agreed to sell at least 50 seed packages for a school project. Yesterday, one student sold 22 packages. And today, this student sold 18 packages. How many more packages does the student need to sell to reach the goal of 50 packages? So he wants to sell at least 50. So I know at least means greater than or equal to 50. Greater than or equal to 50. Okay. Well, he sold 22 one day, and then he sold 18. So 22 plus 18 gives me 40. So he has sold 40. All right, so that's important for me. But first I need to set my variable. So my variable will be x equals the amount of packages he needs to sell. So the amount more packages he needs to sell. All right, so I know he sold 40. I'm going to add x to whatever he needs to, so that's how many more he needs to sell to get me to at least greater than or equal to 50. Nice, easy question to solve. So we subtract 40 from both sides. So this student then needs to sell 10 or more in order to reach his goal. So he's pretty darn close, isn't he? And the way it's going, 22 and 18, he'll easily make his goal of 50 packages, okay, for that project. All right, let's keep going. Try another one. The sum of two consecutive integers. Oh, I love sum of consecutive integers. Is less than 35. What is the greatest possible pair? Okay, so this question asks for more than one thing, so we have to be very, very careful. How about we talk about the integers for a second? If they are consecutive integers are like 1, 2, 3. They're right next to each other. So if I say that the first integer is x, the next one would then have to be x plus 1. And then the next one would have to be x plus 2. We did this earlier in the year. Consecutive integers, just integers right next to each other. All right, so it says the sum of two consecutive integers. Well, first I need to set my integers. So we're going to let x be the first integer. And that would mean that x plus 1 is the second integer. Okay, I'm going to erase this now that you have it in your notes. All right, their sum is less than 35. Okay, so sum means x plus 1 is less than 35. All right, so now we go through our math here. X plus s, we combine like terms, we get 2x plus 1 is less than 35. We subtract 1 from both sides. We get 2x is less than 34. And so then x is less than 17 when I divide by 2 on both sides. All right, so we know that x has to be less than 17, so I'm going to go with 16 because the next number less that's an integer is 16. So if the first integer is 16, then the second one would be 17. So my integers would be 16 and 17. Is their sum less than 35? Well, 16 plus 17 actually gives me 33, so it works. It can't be 17 because it's not equal to. Okay, if it were equal to, that would change this question. All right, one more. In an algebra course, you must get a total of at least 360 points. So hopefully now at this point you're seeing at least 360 points. You're going greater than or equal to in your head because at least means greater than or equal to. Okay, needs to get at least 360 points on 4 tests for a grade of an A. You get 85, 89, and 92 on the first 3 tests. What score on the last test will give you an A? So you want your scores to get you to at least 360 total points. This isn't an average question. This is a total points question. All right, well, first I need to set my variable. I'm going to let S equal the score on last test. Okay, so if I want to get total points, that means add everything up. So we've got 85 plus 89 plus 92 plus S has to be greater than or equal to 60. Okay, so I'm going to actually stop here, but I want you to finish this and find the score you need and bring it to class tomorrow. Okay, so the score needed. I also want you to go into your textbook. In your textbook, there is in section 10.3, okay, 10.3, I want you to do, so it's on page 471, I want you to do numbers 1 through 7, all. All it's asking you to do is write a variable or write an inequality based on the words that they give you. It doesn't ask you to solve them, it just asks you to write the inequalities. So I'd like you to do that and bring that to class tomorrow, okay? Thanks and have a great day.